Meantime, coming up, OPEC producers holding an informal meeting in Algeria this week. Crude prices rising on hopes for a production deal. We're going to talk to oilman Tom Petrie right after the break.
Let's talk about oil prices. They've actually posted their biggest daily loss in 2 months on reports that are surfacing that Saudi Arabia does not expect OPEC to reach an agreement when it meets next week. Joining us right now on this and much more is Tom Petrie, Petrie Partners chairman. And Tom, I was surprised to actually see oil prices go up so much just on the idea that this gang was going to get together and actually agree to anything. What did you think of the rumors there was going to be a deal and now the rumors that there will be no deal when they meet this week?
Clearly what they're looking to have is a dialogue, Becky, and there's been some indication that on paper at least the Saudis and the Russians are in agreement, but the facts cut the opposite way. It's pretty clear that Russia has intentions of increasing its production over the next 3 years in a significant way. They're going to have to spend some serious money to do it. So I think it's in their interest to look like they're playing ball with the Saudis, but whether there's a real constructive agreement there is doubtful. There's still a state of Cold War between Saudi Arabia and Iran. And when you look at what the foreign minister of Saudi Arabia said in an op-ed in the Journal last week, it's pretty clear that there's not a lot of basis for cooperation there either. So there are the haves and the have-nots in OPEC, and they want some kind of an agreement that would freeze things so that over time things should tighten up. But I'm still from Missouri on it.
Yeah, you're from Missouri, meaning show me before I believe any of this stuff.
Right.
Is Saudi Arabia still the one 800-pound gorilla in the room? If they decide that they're not going along with the deal, it kind of falls off the edge?
They are to a degree. That's going to be less so in the next several years, in my opinion, because I do think that they're beginning to see embedded declines in their base production. But right now, they are still in that position.
What we've seen is that every time prices go back up, look, the free market tends to step in. Drillers in the United States can make money. If you get back up to $50 or $60, you expect those spigots to kind of turn back on and the wells to keep drilling away. Is that the correct way of reading this market, or do you see things differently?
No, I think that's a good way to read it. And really, it's been 40 on the low end and 50 on the high end. You get very much above 50 and people get worried. I think a year from now, you could see that range become more 45 to 55, even flirt with 60. But right now, 40 to 50 is it.
Yeah, you know, we've been talking a lot this morning, Tom, just about earnings for the S&P 500 overall and then the energy companies within that. Even though we're at 44 and change this morning, that is still well above where we had been. Some of the lows that we'd seen sitting down below $30 or right around. And we were expecting that the energy companies would actually be anniversarying very well, looking at more profitable times. How do you read how the energy companies themselves are doing in the United States at this point?
Well, there's a variety of them. The integrated companies are doing all right because they've got the downstream aspects as well. The independents are doing, the better positioned independents do fairly well in their very best drilling prospects. But they'll be working through those over the next year to year and a half, and then they'll need a higher price in order to continue to do as well as they've done lately.
All right, Tom, thanks for joining us today.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. Again, Tom Petrie.